Welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League from every angle, brought to you by Ford Everest. Joining me again, the great Gordon Tallis.
Hey, Brent.
It's been the journos in Buzz Rothfield and Brent Reid, and we have breaking news. Brandon Smith charged by Queensland Police. What is the latest?
Yeah, big story broke on the Courier Mail website this afternoon. Brandon Smith, South Sydney forward, has been charged with drug supply and betting allegations. Now, the NRL Integrity Unit has not ruled on anything yet. They want to get a better understanding of what the charges involve, and I think that's a wise decision. We don't know how strong they are. We do know that Brandon has told South he'll plead not guilty to this. Reedy, you spoke to Blake Solly.
I was exchanged texts with Blake's, but my understanding is that they will not stand Brandon down. He will play him round, as it stands right now, he will play him round 27 against the Roosters. And as you said, Buzz, I mean, Brandon's going to fight these charges. So, obviously...
Well, I would suggest, though, it's not that serious then, if South Sydney are allowing him to play.
I mean, you never know, Gordy, because obviously the NRL hasn't seen the police facts. But
yeah,
the impression I was given this afternoon was that I don't think South were overly concerned that this was a serious offence. But we've got to see what happens.
Well, he got stopped by the police at the airport a few weeks ago. Is that where it stems from?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's where it started.
He was bailed up at the airport and he was taken away by two detectives and spoken to about some sort of issue that have now seen fit to charge him with. But I repeat, he's pleaded not guilty to it. The Integrity Unit at this stage have no thoughts of standing him down from rugby league, neither do South. But the Integrity Unit do have contacts with the police force in Queensland. They'll wait for a fact sheet, which they have to, and see, how strong their case is. But there's even talk, and someone at South was telling me that at the time of some of these allegations, Brandon wasn't even in Queensland at that time.
Yeah. Look, obviously the police confiscated his mobile phone and went through that, Briath, and I can only assume that's where the allegations stem from, whatever they found on his mobile phone. But as I said, as they said to Buzz, look, he wasn't even in Queensland apparently when these allegations took place. Now, that might be neither here nor there, but Brandon's pleading his innocence, and it's headed to court, I think, in September. So we'll see how it plays out from there.
Yeah. A lot of speculation around Brandon Smith for years, both at Melbourne and at the Roosters. There's been some controversy around him now for a period of time, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has. And look, I don't really want to go into it too deep because a lot of it's very private, what's been going on in his life and, around gambling and, owing different people money. I just don't want to really say any more, but I for the game's sake, I hope that he's right and he's not guilty, but, and we've got to stress their allegations at this stage.
All right. You agree? Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Buzz. I mean, we've got to wait and see how it plays out. And, obviously Brandon's been really important for South since he came back the last couple of games, and they've got a big game coming up against the Roosters. He gets through that, and he'll fight charges in September, Briath.
Okay, now the worst kept secret in rugby league. Des Hasler has been axed from the Titans with 2 rounds remaining. Gordy, why today, and what changed?
Oh, well, we've won 5 games all year, so I don't think too much has changed. We need to probably start winning some games of footy. And I was surprised. When we first signed Desi, I thought it was a great signing. The sides that he's coached before have shown a lot of resilience. They've won. He's a premiership winning coach. At Manly, I saw what he did at the Dogs, but for some reason it just didn't quite work at the Titans. So if you don't change anything, Briath, it stays the same, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I think Des has been under pressure from the moment Michael Carianis revealed those clauses in his contract that basically put his career in jeopardy at the Titans. And ultimately, I think Gordy mentioned we all thought this was probably a good appointment at the time, but ultimately coaches are judged on results, and it hasn't worked. For whatever reason, Briath, the problem is it hasn't worked on the field, but it hasn't worked off the field as well. It's been, I don't want to be over the top, it's been a disaster off the field. Because Des has not embraced the Gold Coast community. There's obviously been talk about cutting off press conferences, not making players accessible to the media. The Titans are involved in the turf war with the AFL.
Yeah, but
and I think
that's got nothing to do with on-field results, though.
No, I'm saying it's a separate issue.
Yeah, but the point I want to make is this club...
It's also a factor.
Yeah, this club has had 4 head coaches in 8 years. Neil Henry, Garth Brennan, Justin Holbrook and now Des Hasler. Now, they weren't terrible coaches. Des, as you said, Gordy, came with 2 premierships and a great track record. So if 4 coaches can't get it right, you know, I'm sure Josh Hannay's the best choice, but it'll be interesting to, you know.
All right, let's head to Queensland now. Gold Coast Titans CEO Steve Mitchell is standing by. Steve, thanks for joining us. It's been a big day for the club, a lot of changes.
Yeah, Briath, it's been a busy day for us. A lot of changes, as you say, a milestone day. Certainly starting with the news about Des and the fact that we're going to part company, heading different directions in 2026, and then, you know, the appointment of Josh Hannay, which we're super excited about, being a big day. And then beyond that too, we're obviously, we want to do everything we can to support Josh moving forward. I heard Buzz's comments a second ago. It's important that we provide him an environment that's going to give him the level of support he needs to engage his play group and really go to work. So we're bringing Scott Sattler in as the Director of Football, NRL. We're moving Anthony LaFranchi, who's one of our inaugural players, across in the head of recruitment role, and we're going to do a lot of work in and around that football environment to make sure that Josh has got as much good footy IP as he can to support him in his relationship with his play group and bringing about what we believe they can do.
Steve, when did you come to the realisation that Des had to go? You had to go in a new direction. Obviously didn't happen over the weekend. You've been thinking about it for some time.
Yeah, Buzz, we've been in contact and conversations with Des and his manager throughout the year. Obviously, we wanted to, I think this is credit to the owners and the board, they wanted to, you know, give Des every opportunity to get us as far in and as proved up as we could possibly get. Competition was quite tight this year, right through the middle of the season, and you know, we weren't far away from that middle order pack until a number of weeks ago. So arguably we're not where we want to be, and you know, it became more apparent over the last few weeks. And to Des's credit, he's been exceptional. He's holding our relationships in really good stead. He wants to coach the 2 remaining games going out. He addressed the play group today. You can't dispute Des's application, his hard work. His want for the campaign, his want for the club, his hard work on individuals. I mean, he'd almost live here if he could to make it work. It just hasn't worked, and we're just not where we want to be. And he's been mindful of that, and the relationship's strong, and the boys want to play out these last 2 games for him and, you know, give him an opportunity to move on to wherever he's going.
Hey, Steve, Brent Reid, you mentioned there all the hard work does and all the effort Des puts in, but why, in your opinion, hasn't it worked?
Reedy, I think I said it today. Largely, you know, for it all to land on Des's shoulders is arguably probably a little unfair. We've got an environment that we need to build, and this is why we're looking at the footy program in its totality. Josh needs support. We need to put the right people around him. We need to put the right recruitment processes around him, the right high performance team around him, and then the right management around him on top of that. So we're not lost on how big this job is, and it's not lost on him either. He knows how big this role is. We've got a playing roster here that's highly talented. Arguably, we've got to do some work around the character that sits inside that player group, but we also need to bring them to life, and that Josh can't do on his own. We've got to resource him properly. So we're committed to doing that, and we've started that, obviously, with Sats coming in and Anthony moving across, and we'll work with Josh between now and the start of pre-season to make sure that the rest of it's in play and he's set up well to succeed.
Hey Steve, it's Gordy. Tell us here. You just spoke about the playing group. How confident are you for the Titans faithful that Tino, Jaden Campbell will stay at the club? There's been rumours that they wanted to know what's happening in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, Gordy, I think one of the really impressive things around Josh, not just his career and you know, he's highly sought after, obviously, given what he's done in his assistant coaching career to date and 2 times as an interim coach, but his work in the State of Origin program with Billy and the feedback that's come back to us from our players around their relationship with Josh and what he's done around that program with the likes of Tino and Moe and Time and Bo Firma and JC and Jojo Fafita went up and trained with the squad this year, and they all came back and they've all talked about Josh's influence on them and what they've seen around that program. I think they're really confident in Josh. I think that they know they've got a coach that understands the program and what they can do. I think he's very thorough. I think he's going to apply himself, and he's excited about the opportunity to bring success to the Gold Coast. So I think that I think that puts us in a good position to have a really honest conversation about the future and what Josh's vision is for the program and for success. So the conversations should be positive.
Steve, it's been obviously an ordinary year. I said at the start, in 8 years you had 4 coaches, Henry, Brennan, Holbrook, Hasler. Do you and management take any responsibility yourselves? And look, it's the easy thing, and it happens at all clubs. The coach gets kicked out. Do you accept any responsibility for the fact, the footy clubs need stability? 4 in 8 years is probably more than any other club in the game.
Yeah, I think we all need to be under review to some degree. To be honest, Buzz, I mean, the organisations in the Gold Coast is 700,000 people now, diversified industry base, a thriving local Gold Coast rugby community, both genders, male participations in double-digit growth, female games very strong. Host the Warriors the other night, it sells out. Broncos sell out. Our game day crowds are, I think they're 6th, 7th in the game now and growing, and that's year on year. So there's a big population here who want to believe in the program, believe in the Titans and see success, and they deserve success. We're coming up against their 20th year, and that should be delivered now or within the future. It's not lost on Josh nor the club the job that he's got on hand to turn us from where we are. He'll be resourced to do that, but you're dead right. We need to look at every part of the business and make sure that program's supported and that it's in good shape, particularly the high performance football coaching and administrative areas.
And can you answer the question that Des wouldn't answer to Travis Main? Is David Fifita, has he got a release or permission to look elsewhere?
Buzz, I'll answer it like this. We don't talk recruitment and retention or contracts.
Come on.
We want... No, I'll finish. Let me finish. We want Dave playing footy. We want him up and going as a 25-year-old. When he's on, he's the best second rower in the game. Whether that's here or someone else, we want him playing footy.
Good on you, Steve. Really appreciate you fronting up tonight after the big decision today, and good luck moving forward.
Fantastic. Thanks, Briath. Thanks, man.
Pleasure. There it is. Big job for the Gold Coast Titans. They've got Josh Hannay.
Did you have to ask that question, Buzz?
Well, I think
you asked it a little bit politer than was asked on.
Well, I didn't bag the crowd to him or anything. No, it was an interesting stink, wasn't it?
It was.
At the press conference.
Well, after going down to the Warriors, Des had a heated exchange with Courier Mail journo Travis Main. Take a look.
Can you see my hand signals under here? You can? Good, because there's secret hand signals going on apparently. So I'm going to put my hands on the top here so it won't be any secret hand signals, okay? Thank you.
Des, can you explain to us the situation with Dave Fifita and its future?
Well, Dave at the moment is making his way back, as you know, from ankle surgery. So he will come back from that and he'll go into rehab. He's signed for next year. So he's signed for 26.
Have you given him permission to seek interest from other clubs?
He's signed for 26.
Have you given him permission to seek interest
He's
from other
signed for
clubs?
26.
You're not answering the question, Des.
I'm not going to answer it.
It's an important issue at the club. You can't keep avoiding everything.
I'm not going to answer. We don't discuss retention on this platform.
Yeah, but that's just a cop-out.
No, it's not.
It is a cop-out.
No, it's not.
Mate, have a look at the crowd out there tonight. They're all Warriors fans. It's embarrassing.
He's signed for 26.
A very heated exchange there between the media, Travis Main from the Courier Mail and Des Hasler, which you don't see too often in press conferences. Before we keep going, can everyone get their hands up? Make sure you get your hands up, Buzz. What was that all about?
Well, I think there's rumours that Desi would look at the media guy and wind some of the press conferences up. And I'm sure that every coach does that, when they're feeling the heat, feeling the pressure. I'm sure they go, let's get out of here, and then Desi's obviously just gone.
Des normally just gets up and walks out.
Does he? There you go.
Just one sec. If that club wants a connection with their fans and members, they're against the Gold Coast Suns, I think when they are asked questions that their fans are entitled to know what the future of David Fifita is. And even for Steve Mitchell then, not to, we all know Wayne Bennett's talking to him. He has been good, but why can't they tell their fans? They're entitled to know.
I don't have an issue with what happened in that press conference. I think Travis, Travis had to put up with Des. Again, I don't want to be disrespectful to Des, but he is a hard good dude to deal with, right? And when you're on the Gold Coast and Des is acting the way he has been the last 2 years, that's 2 years of frustration from Trav coming out of the press conference. So I understand why Trav went at him like that. And Des is quite within his rights to sit there and dead bat it like he did. I don't have any issue with what happened in that press conference. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I
Play
think
on.
Travis went to the gutter first, though.
What, with the crowd comment?
Well, listen, I've been there a long time. I've worked with Travis. There's some reason that he doesn't love the club. And I said yesterday on radio, I'll say it again, he's one of the most negative journalists I've ever worked with.
I think that's,
And
harsh,
my
Gordy.
opinion.
Travie
No,
writes
no,
a
that's
lot
not
of
harsh,
positive
that's-
stories about that club. I've seen him write stories about Kieran Four, and they were ridiculously positive. I mean, he's written a lot of stories about people at that club that are really positive yarns. But it's hard with a guy like Des who restricts media access.
I get that. And Wayne and all those guys.
But
Rudy, as
have
I
a
just
way.
said, it's not just Des, it's the CEO there. And the CEO, you
Des
know...
was running the show, Buzz. You know that.
What, so you're saying Steve Mitchell reported to Des?
Please, that's the way it's been with Des at nearly every club.
No, it's not.
It's part of the
Look,
reason Manly
I disagree with
got
you
rid of
too,
him.
Gordy. I think Travis May's an excellent journalist.
That's just my
He's
opinion.
paid by his... Yeah, of course it is. He's paid by his employers to inform the public. Turned up at that
Yes.
press conference, hoping to get an answer, not for the type, but for his readership. That's his job.
Sorry
And
for
mate-
having an opinion.
Yeah. Gordy.
No, listen, that's my opinion, right? And I've worked with him. And, you know, if you talk about there's a battle on the ground, and if he's a rugby league man, he helps you with the battle on the ground. Doesn't he? Doesn't
Gordy,
he roll
he'd
up his
love
sleeves?
to.
No, we're not
He would
there
love
with-
to.
He would love to.
I've got to. But
He
as
had a
I've
problem
said,
when Justin was there. Go back and read it, and
As
then
I-
come back.
Okay, that's
read
fine.
about
I'm
it.
talking about the last 2 years.
Gordy. Read about it.
No, but the thing with the Titans is, again in Travis's
Yeah.
defence, there has not been a lot of positivity at
No.
that football club
And the
to write
Titans,
about.
yes.
That's a fact, mate.
Yes, and we've been an easy target. I
Yes.
agree with all of it. We've been an easy target. We haven't helped ourselves. We need an identity. There's a
But
big
what I'm
battle
saying,
going
if
on.
Josh Hannay can turn that business
Yep.
around and they
Yep.
start winning football games,
I
I
agree.
bet you anything that Travis stops being negative because he'll have good stories.
All right,
for
we're
him.
going to get to a lot more stories other than this, but before we move on from the Titans, why is Josh Hannay the right guy for the job?
Well, I think he's done a great apprenticeship, Braith. I think he's a Queenslander, and I actually think that's important on the Gold Coast. They've never had a Queensland coach. So I think that's an important part of this. And you know what? I think he's more open. He'll be more open with the media. He'll be more open with the community on the Gold Coast. I think he's a great appointment for that He's the ideal appointment for that football club.
Tell you what I love about the bloke, his personal references. Billy Slater and Craig Fitzgibbon. Two of the most impressive people in rugby league right now. He's been assistants to both of them. They swear by him, his integrity, his skill in bringing the best out of football players. I spoke to Rebecca Frizzell about Josh Hannay a couple of weeks ago.
Did you get him the job, did you?
No, I'm not saying I got him the job. No,
Was that a Toddy's?
No,
Not
it's
another
curse.
one. Not another one.
No, the last job
Pinot
I got
Grigio
was
when
Tim
you got him.
Shears at Toddy's.
no.
No, but I was
Josh.
speaking...
It was all going so well.
No, I speak to Rebecca about football quite regularly.
Oh, so
And-
you're helping to run the club
No,
now?
I'm not. I speak to all clubs.
explains
I'm
it.
sorry, you don't talk to clubs.
Can you be
I'm
a
joking,
media
Buzzy.
manager and control
Sorry?
the media? Can you be the media manager and control the messages up there for
I
us?
don't know if I could control Travis.
Just so I know, how long
No,
have you
no,
been working
I've
with
just
the
said I
Titans?
spoke to... Yeah, so you
How long has
guys
this been going on for, Buzz? I don't
What's
even know.
that?
How long have you been working with the Titans now? 20 years?
No.
Is this your third wooden spoon?
Hey?
Sorry, I can't.
What's wrong with you?
It's time now for our moment of the round, all thanks to Ford. What else would it be? The Mudgee Miracle.
What a venue this is. What a game we have. The four-time champions against the Raiders.
Ricky Stewart knows this is a big game come September.
Kenny fires it. Tulagi kicks. It was off the top of the head. Takes it, McLean. They'll try the crash play. Tampany. Twist and shouts. Now Edwards on to McLean. Give him a double. Kenny to Cleary. He kicks. Not all that high. Martin has got over. Edwards on the spin. Loses it. Kenny across to Cleary. Thought about running. Oh, Edwards has made another mistake. Well, this is last week revisited.
Yeah, we just made too many mistakes tonight. Opened the door, similar to last week.
They're calling for it on the right-hand side. Out it goes. Fogarty, runners, Strange, young man, Ethan Strange! An absolute superstar! The 7 for the Raiders is going to get one shot. Here it goes. Fogarty drags it to the left. Saganay the golden point. position. 37 metres out, right in front, this time off the post! My goodness! Canberra come back with the ball! And Strange! He is away for the Raiders! Supported Wakes! That is the most remarkable rugby league moment! Off the posts! And 90-minute try!
That is the most remarkable finish to a golden point game I have ever witnessed.
The Raiders remain on top of the competition after craziest finish in Golden Point history. Everyone on the edge of their seats watching this in anticipation. Cleary takes the shot. The Panthers have won. No, they haven't. And the Raiders go the length. What a finish that was.
Crazy. So good, Briath. And it was, I actually said to someone midway through the game, I'd sent a text saying, geez, Ethan Strain's quiet tonight. In the second half, he was unbelievable and he came up with the player of the game. He was such a good footballer and such an amazing... They're never beaten Canberra. We've been saying it all year. They're never beaten.
But, like, it's so funny. When the ball bounced, I think the Penrith players...
They stopped, didn't
forgot
they?
because they can tackle him because it bounced.
They let
But
him
they
go.
thought, he's in the air.
You know, I saw a statistic today. They've had 11 close finishes, and close finishes are games decided in the last 5 minutes, and they've won 9 of them this year. And they just find something. They're so brilliant, those young players.
All right, this got us thinking about some of the great tries over the years. Let's have a look at a few.
This is mine.
This was your one, Reedy, the
94,
part-time Queenslander.
The part-time Queenslander. One of the great moments. This
Was it 9?
I was
think
there
it's
for
9
this.
sets of hands or something like that. Like,
What a
it's so
try.
ridiculous.
And the commentary
Michael Hancock onto Alf, I think.
This was
No,
shattering.
Smith onto Alf.
Darren
Shattering.
Smith, Elfie.
Why do we need to watch this again?
Oh, the big man, here he comes.
Here comes
big
the big
Malcolm.
fella.
Mark
Coyne.
Coyne.
Boom,
bit of work
baby.
to
What
do,
a try.
Coyne.
What a
I
try.
wanted a bit of commentary through that.
I gave you a little bit. Here comes the big fella.
Yeah, oh, mate, and this is mine. So Steve Jackson, I know it doesn't go through as many sets of hands, but if I could score an individual try in a moment, that's it. Steve Jackson.
He's dined out in that for...
So he
forever and a
should.
day.
Mate, what are you talking about? Mate, I'd dine out on that too. I just have it on replay on my phone.
Now, this is the best. This is the best. This is mine. Have a go at GI. Nearly knocks the ref over. Beats Hunt. Can't see.
Marty
Is that
Kennedy.
Matt Lodge there?
Martin Kennedy.
Martin Kennedy.
Dale Copley.
You should be a caller.
Mate, you should be cool.
I couldn't see that was coming late.
What a try, eh? What a
That's
try.
What a
unbelievable.
play.
Okay, so the Panthers lost this game. Looks like they won't make the top 4, which is maybe why they are going to rest players, we've heard this afternoon, for the weekend's game. Have you guys heard much on this?
Well, I've heard rumours of a betting incident.
Talk us through that. What
Well, I'll
have
tell you
heard?
what happened. The bookies put the first betting market up with Penrith at $1.60 to win the game, the Canterbury Bulldogs at $2.30. All of a sudden, early this afternoon, Penrith went out to $2.30. Canterbury came into $1.60. So a story then appears that Penrith are likely to be resting significant number of players for this game. Is it Thursday or Friday night? Or whenever it's on this weekend. How the bookies got the prior information might be of interest to the NRL.
So you think that somehow the information has been leaked that
It
these
has.
players are going to be rested well before it was told to the media or to the officials?
So either the bookies found out or the punters found out.
Of course they have.
Yeah. Well, the bookies can change the price without a lot of money, but I suspect the punters have got on Canterbury at $2.30.
Brady, what about the decision to rest the players? Do you think it's the right one?
I'm surprised by it, Braith, because I think it's a concession that they won't make the top 4 now. It surprises me. But obviously they believe if they're 100% fit heading into the finals, it doesn't matter where they finish, they can win it from outside.
You don't think they
the
can?
top 4. I don't think they can.
You've been outspoken about
I
that.
have been. I don't think they can, Braith. And the other thing is,
Well, I think they can.
whoever loses on Thursday night, they've lost 3 in a row. I know that's not great form for either of those 2 teams.
I know, but from where they were, round 12 last to where they are now, if they can freshen up.
I think it's a good strategy.
I think if they can freshen up, and if they win their first game, and then, because you think that the Raiders and the Storm will probably win, right? Then they got the Warriors or the Dogs in the next round. I have no doubt.
Yeah, but they might play Brisbane week 1 of the finals.
Yeah, they might.
They could get knocked out week 1. I mean, the Broncos,
Yeah, but
I
you
wouldn't
know
want to be
what?
facing Brisbane at
They
Suncorp.
can also beat them too, though.
They could do,
You've
but I
got to
wouldn't want to be
look
playing
at, you've
Brisbane
got to look at the
Suncorp.
last month. They've been in 3 out of 4 Golden Point games.
Yep.
I saw some fatigue on the footy field, particularly at the back end of that, as you would expect. But guys like Dylan Edwards, who is a champion for the errors he's making, the missed tackle on Strange for the long-distance try at the end of the game. When champions, he's tired. He's played more footy than anyone. So what Ivan's doing, and he's better at load than any other coach in the game, he'd rather be fully fit, powering into the finals, no matter what position, than limping in the top 4.
They've played the first and second team the last couple of weeks and gone to Golden Point. And
What if they lose the
could have
next
won
2
it
weeks
both
and they
of
go
them.
in the finals in the back of four straight losses?
But they'll be
They're
fresh.
resting this week, so.
Yeah.
Last time they rested players,
Very
Reedy.
pessimistic game, Reedy.
Why don't you like it?
You know what happened last time they rested players? They
Tell me.
went to New Zealand and they beat the Warriors without their origin
If I'm a
boys,
Panthers
so-
fan, I'm happy you don't like it. It's like Ethan Strange was having a quiet game on the weekend too.
And Sam Walker.
All right, now Buzz, Teflon dogs. You think that Crichton's a protected species, you wrote today
Well, I
in the
did.
Daily Telegraph, but now,
Well, no, have a look.
he has been charged.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. Is that an acceptable practice on a rugby league field? I'm asking
Is
you.
this the power of Buzz Rothfield? That he writes a story and by the afternoon, the charge has changed.
I saw that on Ryan Pappenhausen the other night, and I thought it was a really ordinary act on a glamour player. I'd never seen him do it on front row forwards face to face. He's done it on a little fullback. I've gone back over his record, Gordy, and he's had a lot of cheap shots in his game. I, for the life of me, can't work out how Harry Grant, for the most minute shoulder confrontation, gets 2 weeks, and this fella didn't even get a charge for attacking the face of Ryan Pappenhausen.
Hard to argue.
The NRL, I'm not saying they reacted to the story, but they asked their match review committee
They
to have
did react
another-
to the story, Buzz.
How do you know they
I
reacted?
spoke to Peter V'landys.
Right, well, there you go.
He said the story played a part in the decision to have it reviewed.
Well, that's what our job is in the media.
So that's the power you wield, Buzz.
You
Hey?
are a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
We should keep you on this.
What do you want me to say?
And I'll go
Right?
one-on-one interview with your heavy hitters after this. What about the influence you've got on the game?
I don't have influence. The game. The interesting thing is, I'll tell you how you know when you're on the money. Mid-morning, I always look at my column, and you go into readers' comments, and there are about 150 comments there, and 145 of them were my way. A few disgruntled Bulldogs fans. So, as I've said to you many times, we're writing for the punters. And if you notice something that's happening in rugby league that needs to be addressed, you're right.
Okay, so it's a concerning act letter, now it's a charge. Is this unusual to happen? Are you allowed to do it? How does this work? How has it got from that to that in one day?
Have they missed it?
Well, no, they've just got it wrong, Gordy. And I think that's, as a result of that, Andrew Abdo and the...
Do you think it's an ordinary act?
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
It's careless, it's stupid.
Andrew
It's
Abdo,
intentional.
It's stupid.
it's ridiculous. And Andrew Abdo and the NRL executive asked the Match Review Committee to look at it again. And got to stress, this isn't the new rule, because the new rule they brought in earlier this year that we revealed on this show, that involves the Commission had the ability to send a charge straight to the judiciary. This has not gone to the judiciary. This has gone back to the Match Review Committee.
Do you think?
I think it's completely unnecessary and it's silly, Gordy. And you know what? If blokes do something unnecessary and silly, they probably deserve to be charged.
When they've got history, when there's history, he dropped his knees into the St George winger round 1. It was, very dangerous practice, and he was charged.
Long time ago.
Sorry?
That's a long time ago.
Do you see what he did to Lindsay Collins this year? Went in with his shoulder, bang, knocked him out. Knocked out Roger Tuivasa-Sheck last year, shoulder. They're adding up, Gordy.
Yeah, he got one against the Tigers too that he may have got away with a couple of weeks ago.
All right, let's move on to the actual team, the Bulldogs, and they put up a good fight against the Melbourne Storm. Didn't get the chockies, but it was a lot better than the week before against the Roosters. What do we think of their performance and where are they at?
Braith, I think they were actually really unlucky in this game. I think they got over the line 2 or 3 times. They could have easily won this game. So, there's been a lot of talk after this of, again, Lachlan Galvin. I thought he was really good, ran the ball a lot. And as I said, I think they were very unlucky in this game, the Bulldogs. If I'm the Bulldogs, I walk away from this game thinking next time we go to Melbourne, we're a good chance of winning.
I asked you, Brad, 2 weeks ago, and I'm being serious here, has Galvin worked? and you know, the Sexton swap, etc. You said, and I can clearly remember you saying you'll give us an answer after the Melbourne game.
Yeah.
Answer, please.
Can I ask you a bit longer on it?
Oh, do you?
Can we have a adjourn?
Yeah, can we adjourn this? And, you know, I don't think it's been a success. Like, if you're asking me that, I mean, they've won 5 from 10 since he's been there. And I looked at his last couple of weeks. He's only, I mean, in the last 3 games, he's had 1 try assist and 1 line break. He's scored no tries. So that's okay, because on the weekend he ran for over 100 metres. He was busy, and I thought he was really... I like the way he took the line on, plenty of touches. His defence can improve. I still think he's got to work on that. But if you're asking me, has it been a success? They got him there when they were coming first, and they got him there to evolve their attack, to make sure it was better and more effective and more potent for semi-final football. And I haven't seen that. So, you know, I'm not... He's got time. He's got time to turn it into a success and to change that before the finals and into the finals. But if you're going to just go off his last 3 weeks or even his last 10 weeks, you know, you've got to remember, they were coming first. They've only won 50% of their games. His stats aren't that good.
And you do realise the Bulldogs are not yet a lock-in for the top 4. No, they're not a lock-in, Rudy. They've got to win. They've got to beat the Panthers. If Panthers rest, that'll help. And then they've got the Sharks, which won't be an easy game. If they lose both those games, I don't think they'll make the top 4. Because I think the Sharks and the Broncos will move up.
Are you calling for Sexton to be back at halfback?
I'm not calling for Sexton to be back at halfback. I'm just trying to spit out some figures to you to tell you they're not locked in.
Just checking where you stand, Buzz, because you flip-flop on this one a bit, that's all.
Hey, mate, if he puts it in his column, they'll change.
At least I'm not like Briath. I don't say, can I have 3 weeks?
No, you just get it wrong. All right, stick around, journos. And this Sunday, the F1's return. Aussie Oscar Piastri looks to extend his lead, and you can catch all the action on Channel 506. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the nominees for our Sportsbet Player of the Round, and it was Ethan Strange with 3 try contributions. Tom Trbojevic was on fire with 5 himself. Reece Walsh, 13 tackle busts for the Broncos. And Scott Drinkwater, well, he was sensational against the Tigers at Lichhardt, getting them home. They've all been in form, haven't they? These 4.
Yeah, I'm going with Tommy.
Tommy?
Great seeing Tommy back.
You are a manly boy.
I love Tommy. He's such a good player.
Who would you go with?
Well, I thought Reece Walsh. I think the last couple of weeks, Ben Hunt and Billy Walters have pretty much unlocked him. And Reece, and I know he's going to make mistakes, but he's trying a lot. Yeah. You know, he's got a good left foot kick. So I thought Reece playing yesterday. There's a bit of rocks and diamonds, but there's more diamonds coming out, let me tell you.
Ethan Strange, me. Sensational game.
Great second half.
Do you think you should go on the Kangaroo Tour?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll get there now. Gordy, are you going on the Kangaroo Tour? Are you going on the Kangaroo Tour?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, but... Well, listen,
things got heated yesterday, I saw.
Yeah, no, well, obviously I was there and I didn't ask for the job through the paper, so I didn't like finding out that I wasn't going in the paper. So that was pretty much my first initial... And unless I hear from Peter, Andrew or Kevy Walters, hopefully I go. I think it's a huge honour. I know that there's, there's moving targets with you can't have NRL people going, so it'll be a huge honour to go over there and spend some time, and it'll be a nerve-wracking time. Like the Kangaroos don't go away and lose.
Are you and Chemis all right after yesterday? Or?
Yeah. Maybe we worked together on Triple M, and I'm sure
you
that he
didn't sound too good on radio yesterday.
What?
When you first...
Aren't I allowed to have an opinion?
Yeah, you are allowed to have an opinion, but...
And that's all listen, this is the only thing I have a problem with, and I've had to go at Reedy too. You're going to write something about me, just ring me and ask me.
I rang you last week.
Because I'll tell you the truth.
I rang you on Thursday.
There you go. And you didn't, so did Buzz.
Yeah.
There you go. So, and I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Good
bloke. This has been a real journalism school here tonight, Gordy.
Sorry. Well,
Yeah.
I actually think it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
If the story's big enough for you to write, it's man enough for you to ring the bloke and ask him.
Should Kevy get to pick his own staff? Will he get to pick his own staff?
Absolutely should. Absolutely should. He's only been appointed 1 year. He wants the job for the World Cup, obviously.
So the rules is there's no NRL coach allowed to coach rep footy. So that means that there's no assistants. Is that right?
Yeah. Look, once you bar Mal Meninga because he's coaching Perth and Wayne Bennett because he's coaching South, the NRL then didn't think it was right to allow club coaches to
Like assistants.
step in as assistants. I'm not too sure that's the right move because these guys are in the business day in, day out, 24/7. But the NRL don't want to see in any way any club allegiance.
I think Kevy has to have people that he can trust.
Absolutely,
And I mean, he knows
does.
Gordy. You know, we all know him and Gordy are great mates, and he obviously trusts Gordy. So I think if Kevy wants Gordy to go, Gordy should go. Yeah. That's my opinion.
All right, now, awesome scenes yesterday at Lichhardt Oval. But Reedy, now...
Reedy, what's wrong with you?
Why don't you love it? Like look at this.
Well, look, if they want to play one game a year there, that's fine. Maybe two.
Look at the grass.
Oh, How
How green is it? Look at that.
That's green sand and stuff. They spray paint that to make it look good. But I appreciate people like going there, but it costs the club a fortune when they play there. They make so much more money if they're at CommBank Stadium.
But that's not necessarily the case.
No,
they're
it
getting
is
a
the case.
50
I
million
checked it today. I
upgrade
checked
and
it
they're
today.
building new corporate suites and they will make money playing there.
Even if once the upgrades are made, they would make more money playing at CommBank Stadium.
Actually, this is not a bad try either.
Look at this. Just watch this.
This
look at the
moment,
crowd.
kids would love this.
They lost the game. I mean,
Nothing to
the
do,
Grinch.
mate. It's
The
rugby
Lichhardt
league.
Grinch.
mate, get the Bulldozers started.
Can
and
I
just-
tell you something?
Yeah.
That is the best venue in rugby
please.
league in the
Do you
Southern
know
Been
what?
to Allianz Stadium?
Hey, do you know what? We
That's
should get a
the best
poll, Reedy,
venue.
right? And I'm not up for it, but I'm going to go to the lab because you love Brookvale. You think because it's a home game for you. Let's put Shark Park. Let's put them up there and let the fans vote. What's the best?
Brookie's a better ground than
Look
that
at
place.
that.
Look at that's a pretty cool backdrop.
It's very romantic.
Okay, do they have some money to do an upgrade?
They've got some money to do an upgrade, but
Will you be happy then, or
Well, not if they're playing 4 games a year. There, no, because it's to their own detriment, Braith. To the club's own financial detriment to play 4 games a year there. They should
What did
play.
they get yesterday? 17,000. They're not going to get more than that at
you can't
CommBank.
pay for
wouldn't
that?
they get-
Those pictures though, you can't pay for those
Look at that.
moments.
Well,
That's
you can.
special.
You can put a price on that, and that's the price they're paying by playing there.
No, we'll just up the ticket because I'd pay a bit more to stand there and watch it then.
2 games a year max. That's it for me.
Do you know what?
No,
You're sounding
what
like
do you
Travis Main. Really
What do,
negative.
what do you think about this?
I don't want to have another blue on the show tonight. But seriously, you are so out of touch with the fans of that football club
I agree.
who treasure that venue. It is a rugby league icon. It's an iconic... I honestly think it's the best home ground in the Southern Hemisphere. Not for facilities, I'm talking about rugby league atmosphere. I'm talking about
pretty
rugby
good.
league theatre. And you know
You
what?
haven't been to Suncorp and
If the
Origin night or
corporate
what?
suites aren't as good as Allianz Stadium, well, so be it.
Okay. That's no worries. Cost the club a fortune, but that's all good.
All right, boys.
Good to see
Think
you
you
worried
really
about
think
it.
you buzzed? You have fun
See you,
tonight?
boys. Yeah, it was
You-
great
You look
show.
a little stressed at the end there, Buzz. We're all
No,
good,
no,
aren't we?
no,
Yeah.
never stressed.
All right. Good luck with the Titans too. Yeah, next few weeks. All right, thanks, Journos. Up next is Heavy Hitters with sprint coach Roger Fabry. Hey, Roger. Welcome back. Now it's time for Heavy Hitters with sprint coach Roger Fabry. Rog, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a highlight reel for me, a bucket list to get on your show. It's good that you actually pronounced my name correctly as well.
Oh, I know everyone gets that wrong, right?
Yeah, like Fabry.
Yeah.
Like I think your counterparts, I think they do it on purpose.
Fletch.
Yeah, Fletch and Heine
Well, I've known
and
you
Matty
forever.
Johns. Oh yeah, make sure you contact the studio. We want you on every week. You know, he knows I'm going to do it. Then I'm just sitting on the phone waiting forever and ever.
Well, mate, you can rely on NRL 360, all right?
Thank you so much.
You've worked with a lot of athletes, Rog, for
Yeah.
a long period of time now. You specialise in sprinting.
Yeah.
How did you get started and where did it start for you?
Well, I've got to be honest here, Braith. I'm not good at many things in life, and that's just fact. I wasn't good at school or many things, but one thing that I do is if I decide to try and do something, I try and do it the very best I can. And I was a decent track athlete. And for me to get into this, it was actually never going to be my full-time gig. It was just me fulfilling a passion and to be the very best version of myself. I heard so many stories as I grew older people used to always say to me, don't look back on life and do something that you may have regret.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I can say for sure that I can't regret is that I've given myself every chance to be the best version of a sprint coach.
You're
I
doing
can
a great
be.
job, Roger. I know that firsthand. Now, there's so many fast players in our game.
Yeah.
Have you seen the game any faster than what it is right now?
Well, you know, the other thing that I have to take strongly into consideration, track and field was never going to be a place where I could make money because, unfortunately, there's no money in track and field. I identified very quickly that the game of football or all sports in an entertainment perspective was just going to get faster and faster and faster. So I need to be in an area where I can specialise and make sure that I'm the best in the field when it comes to any field game. And I'll be honest with you, in terms of myself, I mean, I see the guys and you just get the feedback from the guys. And I know that there is actual data to say that the athletes are now covering more high-speed metres in a game than they've ever covered ever before.
Yeah, well, just on that, it just had Josh Adokar, the Fox.
Yeah.
On the Telstra tracker, they say that he's
Yeah.
clocked the fastest time. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that right now? Because I've heard you talk about other players.
Sure. And he's one of my athletes, Josh, the Fox, and I'm always going to be applauding of it. And at the moment, he probably deserves that tag. But I'll be honest with you, the Telstra tracker is nothing more than just a gimmick, Gordon. I feel like I know for a fact that there's some players that I've trained that have gone just as fast as they need to go. So that actually doesn't give you an accurate assessment.
Kenny Nagus was one of them.
Yeah, and you know, Jason Saab is run just as what he needs to. Why would he have, if he's going to score a try anyway, why would he have to go at 100%? So it doesn't take all these things into consideration. The real McCoy is what the crowd and the people, the public and the punters want is, let's get it on. Let's have a 100-metre race and let's get it on.
Who's the fastest? Because you do. You've got Reece Walsh, you've got the Hammer, you've got the Fox, you've got Saab. Now, you say it's hard to get a read off the Telstra tracker.
Sure.
And yes, we all do want it. We'd love to see a race,
Yeah.
whether it's grand final day, whenever that may be. But in your opinion, give us the fastest you think over 100 and then the fastest maybe over 20 to 40.
Okay. I put up on my social media last year, and you could call it arrogant or confident or whatever you may be. I put $10,000 of my own money up for anybody to come down and race Jason Saab over 100, and if they can beat him, then can have it. But they must play at least a minimum of 4 NRL games. I don't know if I'm so confident right now. Jason's didn't have an off season. Has it had a really interrupted injury season? I'd be terrified if Hammer came down. Absolutely terrified. I don't think I'd put the money up. But in terms of the others, I feel like, you know, you get Saab back rolling again in the off season. That's something that he's really focused on. You know, you're going to have to be pretty quick to get him back. And you got the Fox. The Fox said something that made the most sense of all time. He said, "Mate, I just lost 7 kilos, and of course, losing weight's going to get you faster." Yeah, right. And he's back in the mix. When we worked together recently, he moved beautifully, and I'm like, he's really keen. I can hear he's already telling me that as soon as the off season's ready, he's into it. So don't dismiss him.
What about 40 metres? Someone like Reece Walsh. I played with Phil Blake. I think. He's still one of the fastest. Stephen Roof was really fast. What about Reece Walsh?
Reece Walsh.
Over 20 to 40.
Yeah, 20 and 40, I'd be putting my house on him. And I've seen many... And the problem is that, you know, I'd love to see this guy go the length of the field. He deserves it. He's able to create good footwork, and his movement laterally and linearly is almost undeniable. And his speed to get to that top-end speed very quickly, he has the ability to get there very fast, but he doesn't have the ability to go the whole way.
You were talking in the green room about hamstrings. I think the Broncos did a couple.
Yeah.
And you say that could be eliminated with certain training, you believe?
Well, I'm not saying it could be foolproof, but it can certainly help significantly. We all would agree that most of these hamstring strains have been in high-speed efforts, haven't they?
Yes.
Like Herbie Farnsworth, that Fyalongo, that Cody Nikorima.
Reynolds.
They're all through high-speed efforts. There's 2 things. One thing that really annoys me the most is when advocates or people have an opinion say you can't coach speed. Well, then, if you can't coach speed, then why don't the Olympians just take their mothers to the Olympics and just forget about having their coach to go there? Or, more importantly, football clubs can't coach speed. The simple reason being is because they only do speed potentially at the max 1 day a week. They don't get their athletes to hit maximum velocity. And if they do hit maximum velocity, they don't hit it for a long period of time, so they can get tolerance to it. You know, and then people might get, so, well, how often does a player get to top speed? Well, then are you willing then to lose 2 good halves for that one effort that could have been potentially, if they had been exposed to high speed, got a tolerance to it, then you don't lose somebody for 6 or 7 weeks.
So you don't think that clubs do enough speed work with their clients, with their players?
Look, I feel, Braith, and I can't talk really out of school, and I can't say for certain, but in my opinion...
You think that's the reason?
Yeah, if at the start of the year, you look at the qualities of a footballer and think to yourself, well, what should I coach? Strength, speed, skills, etc., etc. Their interpretation of speed should be just called movement, because it is not speeds training whatsoever. If it only took 1 day a week to be fast, then the whole world would be fast. And if it only took 20 minutes a week to be fast, then everybody could do that. There's a lot more to it. There's got to be a reason, there's got to be one reason why Tedesco, in the twilight of his years, is coming to me for 6 weeks in his off-season to come and be the best version of himself.
And he's been great this year, and he was training with you. Now, I want to just have a quick look at something. We've only got a minute here, Roger, but Burton.
Yeah.
Now, Burton runs the length of the field, and Mark Longanita-Wasi, you think this is an example
So look at Mark here right now. Look at his chin. As he fatigues, it gets higher and higher and higher. Look at it. And there is, as far as I'm concerned, that is a classic overstride pattern, and feels to me that just hasn't been exposed to enough high-speed capacity. I actually got to either give credit to Burton, I underestimated how fast he is, or maybe I over-expected how fast Mark is. But that's showing me there, at the back end of this run, well, look at this chin just getting higher and higher, just getting the volume of high-speed metres under his belt. He doesn't know how to cope with it.
Beautiful. Love your work, Rog. It's been awesome. Great insight. You are the best in the business.
No doubt. I wanted to say one thing before I got off the phone, before I got off the show. I've recently become a grandfather.
Oh, beautiful.
And I wanted to wish my daughter and Cade all the very best.
Nice, mate.
You know, they call me now Pop Smoke. And the other thing that I also wanted to do before I got here, I noticed that the players wearing those bags as a swag. Well, I put my airport luggage on, but I actually couldn't fit into the car.
I thought you might be wearing one of them. You know what, too? We've got to go to Verdi and see Ronnie down there.
Mate, we've got to do that
Ronnie.
for sure. I love that.
Up next, we reveal our player of the round, and following us, it's the latest edition of Matty and Cronk.
Puts one across the field, it lands perfectly. Just another try off a kick for Xavier Coates.
Welcome back. That was Jonah Pezzett making his mark thanks to Steel Blue Boots. And our Sportsbet player performance of the round is Ethan Strange with 52% of the vote. It was an all-star cast, but Ethan, too good for the Raiders. And that's it for NRL 360 for tonight.
Thanks,
Gordy.
Boz.
Now it's time for Matty and Cronk.